But I want to speak tonight on the purpose and power of time. But I want to focus on this subject. Write this down, please. And that is understanding how to live effectively in time. When a year goes, time left. When you change a year, you are confessing that you used time. You used 12 months of it. But the question is, how did you live out those 12 months? And how did you use the time that you had? You are about in the next hour to move into another segment of time. And I speak to all of us here tonight. We must understand how to maximize time in our lives. When I was invited by the Queen of England to receive what they call the OBE award, I will never forget that day. The OBE award is called one of the top prizes given by the Queen of England. And when I received the notice from the government that I was selected to receive this award from the Queen of England, I thought they made a mistake, because I said to myself, I haven't done anything to deserve this. Apparently, they thought differently. When I went to receive this honor, I walked into the room. I thought I was in the wrong room. There was about 30 people there to receive awards from the Queen, and everybody looked like they were 80 years old. And I was just over 40 or so. Kinda. Just over 40. And I realized that everybody in the room was twice my age. And I was getting the same thing that they got at half the life. Think about it. As I walked up, I realized that I had made history again, because I was the youngest recipient of this award in the country. And the Prime Minister said that to me quietly. He said, do you realize you made history? I said, no. He said, you are the youngest we've ever chosen. I thought for a minute, and I looked around the room, and these were very distinguished citizens of our country who had worked all their lives, and I was only halfway. And I heard the voice of the Lord quietly said, you used your time well. I want you to think about some things that will shock you tonight. Write this down. Life is time. When you think of life, that's all it is. If someone asks you, how is your life? They're asking you, how are you using your time? Number two, write this down. Life is defined by time. If someone asks you, who are you? Your answer would be what you've been doing with your time. Whether it's a mechanic or a nurse or a doctor or a teacher, it's how you use your time that you define your life. Number three, life is measured by time. Someone asks you, how old are you? They're asking you, how long have you been here and what have you done with your time? Maybe you are 16 tonight. Maybe you are 25 or 32, or maybe you are 48 or 56, or maybe you are 75 or just about to hit 80. I don't know. But whatever it is, that number could incriminate you. Because your time, when you call the number, tells us how much you've used. That leads me to point number 4. Life is determined by time. What kind of life you have is determined by how you use your time. In other words, life is lived out in time. Time is so powerful that life is qualified by time. What kind of quality life you have is dependent on how you use your time. When we think of time, we must be careful. Tonight, I hope that all of you watching this program and listening in this auditorium tonight would understand that life is not only qualified by time, but the passing of time is the passing of life. You say Happy New Year. What I think of is Happy New 12 months you just lost. What have you done with the 12 months that have gone, and what are you going to do with the next 12 months? Can I put it another way? Life stops when time stops. In other words, death is life leaving time. When someone dies, it simply means they left time and they went on in eternity. So what gives you life in time is when you leave eternity and come into a baby's body and become a human. When you die, you leave time again. So time is always temporary, but life is eternal. Time is what? Temporary. Listen to me, young man. What you do with your time is your life. And you don't have all time to do it. Time is temporary. I was calculating my life the other day, and based on my plans for my own life, I got to live to be about 94. So I calculate my life based on my vision that God gave me to fulfill. And I'm calculating my life. And I'm supposed to be alive at least to 94, 95. Do you know how long you're supposed to live? If you just drift in time, death will kill you. I want you to listen to me very carefully. What is time? Let me define it for you. Number one, time is an interruption in eternity. God took a piece of eternity, gave it a beginning, and gave it an end. And that's called time. Eternity is duration without measure. Time is a piece of eternity cut out with a beginning and an end. That leads me to point number two about time. What is time? Time is a small measure of eternity. Time is a piece of eternity. Time is a slice of forever. That's where you live right now. Sometimes we think our life is so big. If you can measure forever, you are just a speck in forever. 80 years compared to forever is nothing. No wonder why the scripture we read tonight says that man's life is like grass. It's here today, gone tomorrow. There's some folks who you started with who you're not ending with. I wonder if we're going to end with you in 2:11. And until you might leave, what are you going to do with that time? We have this awareness that we are not here forever. Time is the limited period during which an action or process exists and takes place. In other words, time is where we actually act in eternity with an ending and a beginning. Time is the measurement of space. Time is also defined as the passing of existence. It's where we live in existence. We exist in time, but we are actually eternal creatures. Let's talk then about how this works. I read a scripture years ago. I still can't forget it. It's found in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, in verse 10. It says, I have seen the burden God has placed on men. Everybody read this carefully. He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the hearts of men. Underline that, please. Yet the man cannot fathom what God has done from the beginning to the end. A couple of things in this verse that are so confusing. First of all, it says that God, he matures everything in its time. One translation says he makes it beautiful. Beautiful means to be fulfilled or matured. God matures everything in its time. That means you were sent to earth to do something in a certain time. And you got to find it quickly so you can do it in the time you're supposed to do it. But it also says he has set eternity in the hearts of men. That means even though you are in time, you are not from time. You are tied to an eternity. You came out of eternity in time. And even though you are in time, you still got a contact with eternity. You are an eternal spirit, but you live in time. And that makes you almost a mystery to life, because you have capacity to tap into the unseen world, into the eternal world, even while you are in time. It's confusing enough. In other words, God took you out of eternity and put you in time, but didn't take eternity out of you. This is why your capacity is unlimited. Your potential has no measure. Your ability has no cap, because you are literally an eternal spirit in a time-conscious body. I put it to you then that we can understand what God has done, it says, from the beginning to end. Where did time come from? Who created time? I read this verse for you because I think it's important to understand that time was created by God. But God created time, but he lives in eternity. And that creates some problems for us, because God created time, placed us in it, but he doesn't live in it. When God tells you, I'll see you tomorrow, that could be 1,000 years. Because he speaks in eternal terms. When God says, you'll be okay, it might be 6 months later. Anybody with me? See, when God told Adam, I will send the seed of the woman, and he shall crush the serpent's head, 4,000 years later, the seed showed up. Now, the reason why the apostles thought that Christ was coming in their lifetime is because they forgot that God doesn't speak in our terminologies in time. When Christ says, I'm leaving, but I'll be right back, they thought he was coming back, until Peter says, wait a minute, I just remember what David says. David says, one day could be 1,000 years to God. So when a human says, I'll see you tomorrow, you better thank God. But if God tells you, I'll see you tomorrow, that might be in the next life. Because God created time, but he doesn't live in it. Therefore, God created time. He put man in time, but he doesn't live in time. And therefore, God himself is outside of where he put you. Now, God created time for what main reason? Here's the main reason. Write this down. God created time to extend his kingdom out of eternity. God's kingdom is eternal. The kingdom of heaven is invisible, it's eternal. And God wanted to extend it to another territory. So God created time, and he put in time the universe. And then he extended his kingdom to the time element. So God's kingdom is eternal, but he wanted to create time to put his kingdom in time. And he put us in time so we can bring the kingdom out of eternity into time through our administration and dominion on earth. This is God's big plan for time. I put it to you also that Genesis 1:14 tells us how God created time. Let's read when time was created. This is where it was created, right here in Genesis 1:14. It says, and the Lord God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark seasons and days and years. Watch this. And let them be lights in the expanse of the sky to give light to the earth. And it was so. And God saw that it was good. Now notice what God says here. They will serve as what? Signs to mark seasons and days and what? Happy New Year. He said, I'm going to create time by setting up some lights. And I'm going to set up some rotations around those lights. And I'm going to put in the system such a precise syncing of the timing that you can be able to mark a day with the sun. You can be able to mark a year with how many times the planet goes around the sun. In other words, God created time in one verse of the Bible. He says he made time to mark seasons and days and years. Ladies and gentlemen, God says time is good. It is very good. So what's the purpose for time? Why did God create it? Write this down quickly. 1, to take you out of eternity. God wanted us to come out of eternity, so he created time to put us in it. Number 2, to protect you from forever. Oh, I'm so happy for that. If you lived in forever and you develop a headache, how long will the headache last? Do you know this is such a blessing? I'm so glad we don't live in eternity. If somebody divorced you and the pain won't go away forever, imagine the hurt. If somebody disappointed you and betrayed you and that feeling is eternal, how can you live with that? That's why God put you in time. Because you see, in a few minutes, you'll be able to say, I was hurt last year. I was broke last year. See, time gives you that protection from being broke forever. Give God a hand for that. I mean, imagine having a rough eternity. No, you can say I had a rough year. Thank God for that. But having a rough forever is eternal depression. God gives you time to protect you from forever. Write this down. He also gave you time to measure your existence in life. He gave you time to define your life and to measure the quality of your life. He gave you time to account for your life. You're 40 years old. 40 years means, what have you done with 40 years? What's the accountability we have? What have you achieved? What have you accomplished? How far have you come? What have you done for the world, for God, and for humanity? Years give you accountability. He also gives you time to define the distance between your beginning and your end. Time is also given to live life in doses. Boy, I'm so glad for that. If I had to live life in chunks, like a year at a time, I'd be crazy. But God gives you time to measure life in small doses so you can handle life. And this is number 9, very important. Time was given to measure the purpose of your life. God gave you something to do, and he gave you time to do it in. And then when you finish it, you can leave time. The question is, have I found that purpose in order to use my time properly? I want to show you something I thought about this the other day, and this is found in Job chapter 14. Read it aloud with me, please. Job 14, verse 5. Everybody read it. Go. Man's days are determined. You have decreed the number of his months, and you have set limits he cannot exceed. So look away from him, Lord, and let him alone for a while until he has put in his time like a hired man. That's in the Bible. Read it one more time. Go, read. Man's days are determined. You have decreed the number of his months and have set limits he cannot exceed. So look away from him and let him alone, Lord, until he has put in his time like a hired man. Let me tell you something. I keep telling my family and my friends this. I believe that people are supposed to die at a certain time. See that it says that God knows the month you're supposed to die. He sets a limit that you can't overcome. It seems as if the last 2 weeks of the year, the quota got to be filled. Have you noticed? Anyone see what I'm saying? It's as if all of a sudden people got to die before the year. And so the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks, like you just start dying. Their months must be up. Read that for you as well, young man. Some of you think, but that's for old people. Jesus died at 30. And he was finished his assignment. How old are you? Are you 35? You might be late. He knows the months. And you cannot cross the limit, it says. There's a reason why God has limits on our life and time. Because there's certain things you're supposed to do and then leave. There's a man in the Bible who named Hezekiah who told God, I want some extra years. God says, you don't want them. The Bible says he fasted and prayed when God told him his time had come to die. Time. He said, your time has come to die, Hezekiah. Hezekiah said, no, Lord, I want to live. God said, look, your time is up. He wasn't sick or nothing. He said, your time is up. You will die in the morning. He said, no, I don't want to die. And he fasted and prayed, fasted and prayed, fasted and prayed. And he pressured heaven. And God said, Hezekiah, against your own time, I'm going to give you 15 more years. And in 15 years, he had some sons. Jeroboam, Rehoboam, Dishaboam, Dadaboam. And those sons were the worst kings of Israel, and they destroyed the entire nation. God was trying to save the people from his sperms. Tell your neighbor when it's time to leave. Please leave, please. He knows the months, and you cannot exceed them. Some of you still think you're going to make it to 211. But what if you have to leave next month? You should live that way every day. I got to make sure every minute counts. I'm doing something important for God. That's the way I live right now. I live this way every day. I want to make sure when I do something, it counts. Matter of fact, take a look at this. Time is measured in what? Seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years, decades, centuries, a millennium. Time measures life in yesterday, today, and forever. That's why I like time. She left me yesterday, but praise the Lord. I can get married tomorrow. Praise the Lord. See, time allows you to say those things. Yeah? Time also is measured in past, present, and future. Thank God for time. Past is a wonderful thing. That means things have passed. Some of the things that you have achieved and even you have failed in are all past. Present is where you are. Future is what you create with the use of your time. Time is also measured in seasons. Winter, summer, autumn, spring. But also measured in the season of plenty. Seasons of little, lack. And many times we forget that lack is a season. When you broke, you think it's the devil. God said, no, I'm just reminding you that you need to remember me. The Lord told Israel many times, he says, I will strip you to remind you that I am your Lord. Then I'll give you 7 times more in the season of plenty. Time has seasons. There's a season when people like you, you know. And then there's a season when it seems as if everybody is a problem. Some of you are in that season right now. I can see your face. Time is also measured to protect man from living in a permanent state. Thank God for time. This is why it's so important for you to understand how valuable it is to think about the year and think about what am I doing with the next 12 months. I want you to think about this concept of time. This is what keeps me going. Time is a commodity. Write that down. A commodity is a resource you use to produce things or to buy things. Money, for example, is a commodity. Time is just like money. Number one, time is the only commodity on earth given equally to every human being. There's rich and poor people in the world when it comes to money, but there's no rich and poor people when it comes to time. Let me say it slow. There are rich and poor people when it comes to money, but there are no rich and poor people when it comes to time. Why? Point number 2. Time is the only commodity every human possesses. Some folks ain't got this, some folks ain't got that, but everybody got time. That leads to number 3. Every human every day is given the same amount of time every day. Bill Gates gets the same time you get every morning. The Queen of England gets the same time you get every morning. Stephen Jobs gets the same time you get every morning. Myles Munroe gets the same time you get every morning. So no one has more than you. The question is, how come some people's life is different? They got the same 24. As a matter of fact, what you become in life is determined by how you use the 24 hours. You're about to go into a new year, and God is saying, look, stop wasting your commodity. I'm going to show you how not to do it in a minute. But look at this statement here. Time is the currency of life. Currency is money. But time is currency of life. That leads me to point number 2 here. Every human is given the same amount of time each day, and every time you use time, you are spending time. You ever heard that? Spending time? You really do. You spend money, but you also spend time. And you spend time. Now, when you spend something, what are you saying? You are buying something. So here's the point to remember. Time is used to buy life. All of us have the same amount every day, but we keep buying different things. Some people would sit down and watch television for 5 hours. They are buying that with their lives. Some folks spend hours just liming. Amen word. I got it from Jamaica. Trinidad, yeah. Lyman. Just sit around, people just hang around, just doing nothing under a tree. They are buying that with their time. Can I put it this way? And make a note of this. Whatever you become is what you spend your time buying. Whatever you become right now is what you bought. Stop blaming people for your life. You bought it. You're not broke. You always got time to spend. Listen to me carefully. Whatever you invest your time in, you become. Think about 2010. What did you do with most of your time? You can spend time just arguing. The Bible says, avoid useless arguments, because arguments take time. Complaining. If you complain, you're using time. I ain't got time to complain. When I make a mistake, I just get over it and move on fast. Some folks get depressed and spend weeks on one mistake. Feeling depressed, feeling sad, feeling angry. You're wasting time on the mistake. Make a note of this, please. This is very important. We abuse time. Now, this is one that's very important for you to understand what to do with this year coming. Time is just like money. First of all, it can be stolen. There are some people who are time thieves in your life. You've been hanging over them in 210, and God is saying, get rid of the thieves. Oh, you don't understand. When you turn 50, you're supposed to be smart by then. There's some people who don't deserve your time. And they are thieves. They will come around, just knock on your door unannounced. Hi, I just come to drop in. Don't you drop in on my life. Do you understand me? There's some people who are stealing your life. You're on the phone for 2 hours talking to what you call a friend. That's a thief. Don't let 2011 be the gathering of the thieves in your life. There are some people you got to get rid of. They will rob you of your only commodity you have. Give God a hand right there. You got to watch these people. There's some folks who just want to row. Man, tell them I ain't got no time to row. Take your things and go. Hello? Secondly, time can be abused. You can abuse your time on things that don't benefit your life. Number 3, time can be lost. Just the way you lose money, you can lose time. And the problem is, once you lose time, you can't get it back. Number 4, time can be squandered. I remember a couple of times in my life where I decided to meet with certain people. We went out. At the end of the day, I was depressed. I don't get depressed. But I was depressed over my own foolishness. Because I spent the half a day with someone who didn't advance my life. I squandered my time. We need to be careful and protect our time. Write this down. Number 5, time can be appreciated. The same way you appreciate money, you grow money, you can appreciate time. Your time can become more valuable. For example, if you read a book in January 2011, you've appreciated your entire life, because now you get new information. Read one more book in February, you appreciate your life again. You got more information. Read one more book in April. In other words, you can keep appreciating your life by the way you use your time. The most powerful time waster is television. I'm telling you, friends, you need to be delivered from the tube. I'm telling you. People ask me, how do you write 3 books in a year and they're best-selling books? Because I don't watch TV. TV is a thief. I always think about the folks who you're watching. They're already rich. They rich, and you spending 2 hours watching them, and they rich. They sleeping, they sleeping, or they playing golf. And you sitting there in that house, and they're making you poor. Time can be squandered. Number 6, time can be depreciated. You can depreciate $1. You can depreciate time. Spending it with people and things that don't make sense to you. Make this the year of time consciousness. As a matter of fact, number 7 is important. Time can be devalued. Some people were doing good until they ran into certain people. And those people destroyed their value. Some of you have been flying high like an eagle. And then this year you run into a pigeon. You stop coming to church. We don't see you anymore. You've been wandering off. And tonight is only New Year's night. You're back in church. You see, that's the problem. I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to one right behind you, okay? Don't take nothing personal. I don't know nobody. I ain't look at nobody, okay? But we can devalue our time by the people we allow to affect us. Believe me, friends, you cannot go through life without making some enemies. So get used to it. Some folks will always be mad that you don't want to be with them. Don't let them devalue your time. I put it to you another way, okay? Listen to this very carefully. Time can be revalued. That means you can get your value back. You can make a decision tonight and say, you know something? 2011 will be the year I regain my life by regaining my time. I beg you tonight, don't end 2011 the way you ended 2010. Make a note of this. You can never stop time. We are actually victims of time, You can never control time. You can never resist time. You can't compromise with time. You can never repossess time. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can never buy time with money. Time is always moving. Time, you can never slow time down. Boy, time is something else. It makes you a prisoner. Either you end the hour or you lose the hour. Either use it or lose it. That's the way time is. Time can never be sped up, and until death, you are stuck in time. So you better get used to using time right now. And use it for your own effective divine benefit. Let me put it another way. Please get this CD because, you can't write this fast. Read Psalm 90 verse 10. Read. The length of our days is what? 70 years. Or 80 if we have strength. Yet their span is but trouble and sorrow. For they quickly pass away and we fly away. God is telling us our average age is 70. How old are you? How old are you? 35. Half of your life is gone. What are you going to do? How old are you? 72. Lord have mercy. She's there. That means every day she wake up, she got to think, I got to make this count. How many more good years you got left? Think about it. My father's here tonight. Daddy, stand up. He is 86 years old. Listen how you look when you're 86. Now, the Bible says what? 80 if you have strength. He got strength. Look at that. 86 years old. Whoa. Give him a hand for 86. That's my papa. Now, the Bible says, if you live longer than 70, you on strength time. So if you're 50, you got 20 good ones left to do something with your life. The Bible covers everything. So I want to drive home something before we close and enter a new time. What to do with your time? Write this down. Number 1, you can manage time. You can't stop it, but you can manage it. Number 2, you can use it. You can use time. Number 3, you can invest it. You can invest time differently in 2011. Number 4, you can convert time. That's an important one. Currency can be converted, right? I can convert an American dollar into a Bahamian dollar. You can convert it. So in other words, time, you can convert time into money. You can convert time into health. You can convert time into knowledge. How you use the time, you can convert it into something. Number 4, time should be used to initiate, create, develop, build, and add value to the life that exists in it. You use time to improve your life. Use time to fulfill your divine purpose. That's why God gave us time. God gave us time so we can fulfill his purpose. As a matter of fact, there's a verse that we always read, Ephesians 5:14. I want you to read out loud with me. Please read out loud. Go. Wherefore, he saith, awake, thou who sleepeth, and arise from the dead, and Christ will give you life. Look therefore carefully at how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise. Next verse says what? Redeeming the time, because you ain't got no time to play with your life. Read the next verse. Wherefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. Do not drink liquor. See it there? Do not what? Be drunk on drugs, marijuana, cocaine, beer. Some of you all can't wait to leave here tonight. And God is telling you, stop in your tracks. You waste your life in a barroom, spitting and puking up yourself. Waste your life, 10 hours you have cut. Useless to humanity. You sucking on a cigarette, sucking on a cancer, sucking on a marijuana stick, and God is saying, look, don't be drunk, wake up. Redeem your time. Use your time for sensible things. I hope you understand that the Holy Spirit has sent this message to you tonight to tell you 2011 is the year of value for time. Don't waste your year on no one who can improve your life, expand your life, advance your life, progress your life. Cut them off. Everybody say redeem the time. The word redeem means to actually to own or control. Read it again. Redeeming the time. That means own your time again, which means that other people own your time. From 9 to 5, people love to own your time. The only time you own is after 5. That's why the Bible says, sow your seed in the morning, and after you go home, don't let your hands be idle, because you don't know which one will prosper you. In other words, don't allow people to own all your time. Take control of your time. The word redeem also means to fulfill a pledge. That means get back to what God gave you birth to do. It means to convert value into something. Redeem the time means to pay a debt. To redeem means to pay a debt. Redeeming the time means let me pay the debt with my time that I owe humanity. That means get back to doing what's important to God and humanity. We spend our time working hard, building a business, and we put our whole life into it, and we forget about God. And God sometimes will just touch your business with the finger, just touch with the finger, just touch it. And all of a sudden it goes zoom. And God says, I just want to remind you that when you die, they ain't going to remember that. It's what you do for Christ and his kingdom that will really be what lives beyond your death. It means to pay your debt to society, to deliver on a commitment. I love this one here. It says in Ephesians, read it loud, please go. This is why it is said, wake up, O you sleeper, rise from the dead. The Christ will shine on you. Be careful then how you what? Live. Not as unwise, but as wise. Now here's the verse translated into the New International Version. It says what? Making the most of every opportunity. Making the most of every opportunity. Tonight, you have an opportunity to make a rededication of your life to the Lord. What are you going to do with this night? Is your mind on John Canoe? Or is it on what I'm saying? Is your mind on the party you're about to go to? Or is it on what God's saying to you now? Are you thinking? Is the opportunity being used? The older you get, the more you look for opportunity. Because you ain't got time to waste time. He said, don't waste your time in debauchery and, lewdness and sex parties and drunkenness and carousing. He said, this is life you're wasting. I've seen a couple of times my wife and I went to eat out to Paradise Island, and I see these 60 young people, 70 young people around the club. Bahamians. I'm saying, what are they doing over here? And it's like, 12 midnight, they just come in. I'm like, what do they do with their time? At their age, I was impacting the world. Opportunity. Let me define redeeming for you. To redeem means to take ownership and control of your time and convert it into opportunity to fulfill your divine debt to your generation, delivering value to humanity. That's why you were born, to redeem the time. So how do you redeem the time? I want to close with this instruction. 1, time, like commodity, must be managed. 2, time must be protected. Protect your time. Some folks want to see me. You'll be amazed how many folks want to see me. And I got to ask God for divine revelation to see people. My sister would tell you, who works with me in the office, she'd tell you, I get hundreds of people want to see me in 1 week. Hundreds. They fly in, they make, I'm like, God, they want my life. When someone wants your time, they want your life. And the more time you spend with them, the more life you are giving them. Think. You got to protect your time. Remember, you can't avoid making enemies. So you might as well make them where they make sense. Yes, number 3, time must be focused. Number 4, time must be purposed. Number 5, time must have a vision. Number 6, time must measure for results. When I do this, is it going to result in something valuable? Or am I just wasting my breath and my energy? Time means I have to use this piece of history to make sense out of my life. Number 7, time must have worth and value. Go through 2:11 every day aware that this day is a gift given to you by God. And you got to give it back to him with appreciation. It should be a better day when you finish with it than when he first gave it to you. God never gives you a month. He only gives you a day. This is the day the Lord has made. What do you do with the day? Finally, John 7. Jesus Christ was very protective of his time. Here's a verse that I read when I was 18 years old. It changed my life. And I still use it every minute to protect my life. Jesus Christ was very, very influential. Everybody wanted to see him. And in John chapter 7, verse 6, they told Jesus in verse 5, why don't you go to the town and show yourself to the people? They will believe your miracles. And Christ says these words. He says that Jesus told them, read it aloud for me, please. John 7, 6, read. And Jesus said unto them, the right time for me has not yet come. But for you, any time is right. Y'all ain't got no sense of time. That's what Jesus said. You all just do things and say, hey, let's go play. Okay, let's go play. Let's go to the club. Let's go to the club. He said, you ain't got no sense. You let people run your life, he says. Let it stop in 2:11. Not everyone who wants to see you can help you. He says, to you, any time is good. But for me, read the next part of the verse. He says what? The world cannot hate you, but it hates me because I testify what it does is evil. You go to the feast. I am not going up to the feast because for me, the right time has not yet. He was so time conscious. He knew when not to mix with people.